Okay, first things first. We're filling in the crazy steep ditches. Yay! Oh, here goes Uncle Earl. Wave! He'll be back. Anyway, so these crazy ditches. We've got extra rocks and extra clay dirt that we dug up from things. We're gonna start trying to fill it in a little bit more so we can take the lawnmower in there and mow it. And then it'll also help us to be able to take care of the lilac hedge and things like that. So yeah, other than that, that's probably the only project out this way that we've been working on. Apricot tree is doing okay. It had some problems with some spray from a field, but we're doing all right. So we're gonna head over to the garden real quick and go see some things that have changed. But actually, biggest change that's happened over here is we had all of that snow and it was so terrible and it like half crushed our lilac hedge. Part of it I could save, and the other part of it, while it looks kind of okay, we're basically gonna chop it all off and let it start over. Also, this bush is getting a serious downsize, but that might not be till next spring. But it's gonna get a lot smaller. But then it'll be a lot prettier and bushier and more flowers, so it'll be good in the end. Anyway, to the garden. Quick detour. So we have a mullein plant, which looks kind of cool and kind of weird all at the same time. So when this is all done and dried out for the year, it has just this big hollow, not quite hollow, but really lightweight stick that Uncle Earl uses to make fire with his hands. Like with the stick where you rub it back and forth. Pretty sure I have a picture of it somewhere. So yeah, so he uses the stick to make fire with his hands, but this is the plant he gets it from. And it has these really pretty little yellow flowers on it. Can we see? Focus, please. Hello. There we go. Focus on the flowers. There we go. Anyways, very pretty little yellow flowers. There it is. So yeah. Doesn't want to focus. Anyway, and then the leaves are really, really soft in the spring and early summer. They call it cowboy toilet paper. But the flowers are really good. You can put them in a tincture and use them for earaches or backaches. So that's kind of interesting. So we're going to collect the seeds off this one and plant a bunch more so then we can start collecting the flowers and make the stuff for earaches and whatever. Look, there's Roxy. Say hi, Roxy. She's meowing. Oh, here she comes. Come here, Rocky. Come on. There you go. Here she comes. Hi. She's a good girl. Okay, Rocky, we're going to the garden. Okay. So anyways. Tractor, as always. So Uncle Earl made a big, giant mud mess. You can kind of see way down at the end of the dirt path, there's a black pole with a white top on it. That is our new well. And underneath all of this dirt, we had to rent a digger, and I'll put in some video footage in here, but we rented a digger to dig a really deep hole so we could put the pipe in here so we could have water right here. There's one, and there's another one down at the end. And then eventually it'll go to the new house too. So that's that. That's his messiness. Okay, we need to mow in here. Here we are in the garden. I'm gonna put in some pictures too of garden from the spring. I don't know if I have any videos for you, but we had lots of stuff. So this is the onion patch. Over here here's our big mint bush for all that mint tea. I put in a lemon balm plant this year and lavender. It was the first year, so it didn't bloom. We have sage, which turns out has really pretty purple flowers, and it smells delicious. It can also be drinking as a tea. There's my parsley that's going to seed. Coriander already went to seed. There was garlic in here. I have to go through and dig it up. plant the fall garlic for the next year. Here's my onions, kind of encompassed in grass. I gotta dig them out yet. These are really cool onions, guys. I don't know if you've ever seen these before. So here's the onion plant, right? And at the bottom it has regular stuff and you can pull it out and eat it. But this, where it's like crazy growing above ground, what you do is you take this off, and it does it naturally. Like nature made this plant so it will always keep growing itself. But you can help nature along. You can take this off and plant it in the ground, and then you get a little onion plant and you can harvest all the green stuff. It's really pretty great. So you can see here some of these plants are starting to do it. So like this one's fallen over. It's getting its seed plants close to the ground. This one's doing the same thing. So they're called walking onions, or I don't know. I think they're called walking onions. I have 2 basil plants right there. Got some chives in here, and here is my tomato forest. Lots and lots of tomatoes. Grandpa insisted that we plant tomatoes that get really, really big. So we're talking like baseball size, softball size. Here's one. Here's some really red ones. I might just pick those. Anyways, big, big tomatoes. And there's little tomatoes, there's all kinds. And we've got peppers and celery. We've got carrots, that's all the frondy things. And then behind the carrots are parsnips. We have cucumbers and squash. We have cantaloupe. Here they're growing pretty nice. There's one, there's one. There's a bunch more in there. And another grandpa project is watermelon. This is our biggest one. It's getting pretty good too. This is our insane potato field. So when we planted them, we put in 70 potato plants. And every plant comes up with something like, I don't know, probably about 5 pounds, probably 3.5 to 5 pounds of potatoes per plant. So you guys can do the math, but it's a lot. And then we have green beans here, and they're going to town. There were regular peas on this fence, but they're gone now. And here we have snap peas, so they're just the little flat ones. And you pick them and you eat them. They're really good. Okay, this is where the lettuce and spinach was. They're all done. Here's all my cabbage heads. Gotta make us some sauerkraut. They're getting so big, guys. Gotta see this monster. I'm surprised it hasn't burst yet. Look at that. This is my hand. That's a cabbage head. It's like bigger than that's like the size of a basketball. I'm gonna have to make a lot of sauerkraut or something. I don't even know what I'm making. We're just going in the freezer. Here's beets. I've started picking those to can them. I should have done it sooner, but it is what it is. So yeah, that's in the garden at the moment. Nothing too special. I think what we'll do now, we'll go visit Peppy. You coming, Rocky? Come on. Okay. So, I think you guys remember my kitty Peppy, the black one. She passed away last fall. And that's when we got Roxy, shortly after. But when Peppy passed away, we buried her out here. And we have a nice place that we made for her. So we've been planting all kinds of things that she likes. So, Peppy she loved pretty flowers and soft things to lay on. So I planted this plant, and it's really nice and squishy. I'm gonna plant a couple more. It's kind of pink too, do you see that? It's kind of cool. Plant a couple more so when you come over to visit, you can sit there and talk to her. And then this is a really pretty plant. So this is called yarrow. It's got lots of like health benefits. If you cut your fingers, you can take one of these leaves and kind of chew it up and put it on there, and it'll help it stop bleeding. This is catnip. She loved catnip. So we got that for her. And there's cat mint over here, which is a little bit the same but different. So like catnip humans can't eat, but cat mint humans can. And it has pretty purple flowers. And then we put in some coneflower plants, otherwise known as echinacea. So that's pretty cool. So this is where Peppy's at. So we like to come over and sit and talk to her. And the nice thing is that we build our new house, it'll be right here. so we can still come over and visit Peppy all the time. Oh look, hey look, there's Goosey. Do we see her? Boop. There she is. Hi Goosey. Okay. So then we've got our asparagus patch is doing really good. It shot up a whole bunch more, like all of these really thick ones. These were all, like if we'd have paid attention, we could have cut them and ate them. They were brand new asparagus spears. The other ones, the ones that look really leafy, those are from earlier in the year. But it's brand new, so we can't cut it right away. And this is all horseradish. So it's really big and tall. And so next year we can start pulling up the roots and Earl can make his spicy horseradish sauce with it. And our rhubarb plants, doing really good. And then I put in strawberries this year. And it's been a little hot and they've gotten a little fried, but I got to eat a couple strawberries. So hopefully next year they'll come back. And then what I want to do is I'm going to take the strawberry patch all the way up to the tree. Eventually, we want to fill in this whole area. Let me back up a little bit. Eventually, we want this whole area underneath the tree to kind of be a garden too. So obviously we're going to put a bunch of strawberries in here. And then we want to bring out like some of the other plants out here. I want to put bushes, like raspberry bushes and stuff in this corner because it doesn't get a ton of shade and they would like that. So that's kind of the plan on that one. So this is all going to be more gardening stuff too. So anyways, we're pretty close to the well. So that big black pipe thing there, that's the well. And there's power run to it and everything. So then all we have to do is up by the garden shed, flip the switch and it turns on the power, and then you flip up the handle on the spigot things and then you've got water. So it's pretty cool. But that being said, some of those 43 trees I talked about are over here. So let's go walk and look at some trees. First one here. Oh, look how pretty that is. Oh, gotta love the country. Okay, first tree. So this is an oak tree. And while it looks dead, it's actually not. It's still really bendy. As we were talking with some people, oak trees, typically when you plant them, the first year they don't really do anything. As long as they look kind of red, you can kind of see it down here. As long as they still look like that, they say they're still okay and they'll come in the second year. So fingers crossed that's what's happening. So if we walk down here, you can see this tall skinny tree right here. That is a sugar maple tree. One of two that we planted. It is really exciting to have one of these. Actually, to have two of them. I'm very, very excited. So in 25 years, so let's see, Walter's 5. So when Walter's 30, we can try and tap the tree and make our own maple syrup. Which seems like such a long time ago, but also it goes really fast. So we have this one here, and then if we look over here, let's see if we can see it on the camera. Oh, maybe just a little bit. There's a little stick thing right there. That's the other one. So that's the other sugar maple tree. Yeah. So that's that one. We'll go walk down and see some more trees. All right. Here's another oak tree. Another oak tree. This one always looks funny. It's got all these ridges. I don't know if that's like bark or if it's unhealthy, but we'll see what happens. So down here we have some plum trees. Sorry, plum trees. Rexy, you gonna help me show the plum trees? Okay. So we have some plum trees. So we planted some little ones. These little orange flags that you see are where we planted trees. It's kind of hard to tell, but in that taller grass there are some apricot trees. And eventually they'll get a little bit bigger and they'll look like this one. This one is just grown naturally. So when animals eat the plums, they will just eat them whole. And then the seeds come out in their poop and they land wherever they are. And they spend a lot of time in this area. You can see how there's like paths in the grass. Maybe you can kind of see, maybe not. But there's paths in the grass where they walk and they'll poop there. And then we end up with more apricot trees, which is pretty cool. So we actually have a whole little, I keep saying that wrong, plum trees. So we end up with more plum trees. So we have a whole little plum tree grove here. And then we planted some different plum trees in the back section, which you can't really see. But back by our back fence, there's a whole nother row of plum trees. So we're not going to plant any more of these plums. These are the small ones. We'll walk over to this tree. We're not going to plant any more small plums, but we are going to plant Roxy likes their tall grass. Where'd she go? Rocky. There she is. Okay. Anyways. We are going to plant bigger plum trees. So it's been really dry this year, so I don't know if these plums are going to amount to much of anything. But you can see here there's some plums. Yeah, it's been so dry, but we'll see what happens. There's some bigger ones down this way. You can kind of see there's a little cluster of them right there. So yeah. But we're going to get a bunch more trees again next year and do the same thing. Just make some more plum trees. Or, well, yeah, we're going to get more plum trees. More of a little bit of everything. Just keep planting more trees so that as other trees get old and die, there's new ones. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go this way now. Here's another oak tree. Still bendy. Another oak tree right here. Now we've got some cottonwood trees. These ones did really good. I think they're all alive. So yeah, so we've got little leaves on them. One thing we have to do is fence them so they don't get eaten. Yeah. Cottonwood tree. It's like it's waving at you. Another cottonwood tree. Hello. How are you doing today? Oh, look, there's an ant. Okay, off you go. All right, one more cottonwood tree. So this one, not really sure why. The top of the tree didn't want to live, but the bottom part's okay. So what we'll do is I'm gonna cut that off. And once we get that cut off, then we can fence it and it'll be good for the winter and protected, and it'll come back and it'll keep growing. So this is an apple tree we planted. Looks like it needs a little bit of water. But yeah, so we put in 2 more apple trees this year. So we have 5 now. So this is a Honeycrisp apple tree. There's another one there. And then in here, in all this tall grass, you can't see anything, there are 4 little maple trees in there. And we've kept watering them all summer and it's actually done pretty good. What? So, there's some maple trees in there. Okay. So this is the apple tree that you guys got us, the crab apple tree. And again, it needs a bit of a trim, so we'll trim those off before winter hits, so it doesn't try to bring them back in the spring. And then the other thing we need to do is we need to move the fence so that branch can lay down a little more. Rocky's telling stories too. What do you think, Rocky? What else do they need to know? We like sunsets out this way. They're really pretty. All right, let's keep going. We've got more trees. So then we planted 3 apricot trees. Unfortunately, this one didn't make it. It was just a teeny, look how teeny tiny this twig is. Just teeny tiny twig, and it started blooming and then it died. So I don't think that one's coming back. But we still have 2 more besides our big one. So we've got this one here, and it looks really good. Hello. And we have that one up there. So that'll give us at least 3 apricot trees. This is one of the cherry trees you guys got us. It's doing super good. It's just dry, end of the summer. We have bugs out here. There's not a lot a body can do about them, but seems like it's doing great. It's got really healthy bark. I got like 4 cherries on it this year, and then, or like 4 cherry clusters, and then the birds ate them. Wasn't surprised. Okay, so this is the other cherry tree you got us, and for reasons that don't make any sense, it didn't want to live. Like the top part didn't, but there's more tree growing out the bottom. So I'm just gonna cut it off where it stopped growing basically, so that it can grow, all this leafiness can be the new tree. So we're gonna see what happens. Probably have to groom it and prune it a little bit as it gets taller, but it'll be good. It'll be great. Oh, here's the garden. You can see tomatoes in there. Here's these trees. We had such a weird winter. Like, here's the deal, guys. We had such a weird winter that the trees weren't very happy about it. So they were thinking that they didn't get enough water. So this one didn't get half the leaves it was supposed to. This one got almost no leaves. It was somewhere between frustrating and scary. So it's been a season, but we're doing okay. So, but there are leaves on both of them, so they're not completely dead. So we're just leaving them be, and we're gonna see what happens after what is hopefully a more normal winter. And then we can come back and see what they do. Okay, so let's go over. We're gonna walk the hill where the new house is going to be, and we'll show you some other stuff. Come on, Rocky. Okay, so we are standing at the front deck, and you can see there's some dirt up there, and that's where we had a big bush. It's a big chokecherry bush that was growing, but because that's basically going to be like where the front door of the house is, we took it out when we had the big digger thing. So we replanted the bush in a couple pieces, and I'll show you that in a second. But yeah, so this is where the house is going to be. So we're going to we have to get a big dirt mover, and we're going to take all the dirt on the hill on this side and move it down over here where it's lower, so it can be all one flat surface. And then we'll have the people come in and do the digging and put in the concrete and all the pipes and electricity, and all the pipes and things and the conduit for electricity and the floor heat and all that stuff. And then not next summer, but the one after, we will have our house built, and hopefully we can be in it by Christmas. So that would be super cool, but we'll see what happens. It's a process. But yeah, so that's where the house is going to be. So we'll see what happens. All right, a couple more things to show you. Hi, Goosey. Hi, sweetheart. Have you been hunting? Yeah. You been hunting? Oh, the kitty kisses. Look at the kitty kisses. Okay, let's go show you some things. Okay, so this is the original chokecherry bush that I planted when we moved here. And I don't think it's gotten any bigger, which is so weird, but whatever. And then we put in 2 more this year. There's also a giant hole here, which makes me kind of mad. But there's this one, and there's this one, which has just been so happy. It's just very strange. Oh, that's a weed. Let's pull that out. Okay, but here, all of these dead looking things are the chokecherry tree that we pulled out this last year, just the other day when we were out with a digger. So it's totally normal for the leaves to have died off because we completely pulled everything, we uprooted everything and put it in a new place. And so it's just gonna look like this, which is perfectly fine, it's perfectly normal. And then next year, what should happen is that they'll go dormant, and then through all the water and the rain and stuff, it'll naturally trigger those all of these bushes to come back. And we put multiple chunks of tree in each section, so that hopefully it will at least one piece of everything we put in there, and then we'll have a nice chokecherry like hedge the whole way here. So hopefully we can get enough eventually in like 10 years to do a bunch of stuff. Okay, so then, so we look out here, down this final row, you can kind of see some of the orange flags. So there's trees here, you just kind of can't see them. So there's a cottonwood tree, and then there's a chokecherry bush, and then there's an oak tree, and there's another chokecherry bush, and there's another cottonwood tree, and then there's 2 more chokecherry bushes on the end. And so those are, I think, all the trees we planted. You know, guys, it's really hard to say. They just came through and mowed this and baled it one last time for the year. So he got tons of bales off us again this year. So it's pretty good. Yeah, I think really that's the only thing left. That's a little bit of a tour. Hold on. Yeah, so I hope you've had a good time on our little tour of the tree farm. If there's things you want to see, you should let me know. I'm currently working on making salsa, and I'm making, what are the other things I'm making, guys? Oh, I'm canning some beets and green beans, and I gotta make some more tomato soup and spaghetti sauce and all kinds of things. So that's pretty much all I'm doing right now. It's just preserving all the garden goodies and then eating the other things. And yeah, it's kind of fun. So I don't know, we've been up to other things. I'll put other, hopefully I've gotten other little videos in I've taken over the course of the summer. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, or sleep well, or whatever it is that you're gonna go do next. And I will see you in a little while next time. Bye.